Websec.fr challenge. And the challenge we're going to be doing today is going to be called level09, which is called remote code execution. Let's get started. So if I click on the URL, it's going to guide us to level 9. And then we have this is our unexpected store and service. You can text and try and get it to execute to read the flag file. You can look at the source code here. So if we look at the source code right away, we see that there's a bunch of things I guess to look out for, or to be wary of for the most part. One of the things that stuck out to me right away was the eval function at the end, because if you check it right here at the eval function, we see if the cache file is set, and if the cache file exists, what it's gonna do is gonna get the contents of the cache file and then strip it, and after that run eval on it. So I guess one of the two things to look out for is what is strip s/, because file get content, you could assume that it's getting the content of that specific file. So what's strip / returns a string with the backslash stripped off. So it returns a string with a backslash stripped off. So that's one thing we have to look out for, like that anything that includes a backslash is gonna get ripped off. So how do we solve this challenge? What do we do to help us solve this challenge a lot easier? And sorry for me moving around. I'm just getting my charger and everything ready because I think my computer is about to die. But we start thinking ourselves, how do we solve this challenge? So with this challenge, for the most part, the thing you have to be wary for and look out for is basically I guess I'll just show you guys my solution. So with this challenge, you have to understand a bit about cat 09. So I guess I'll go over. So what you want to do, have some for the payload. My payload is going to be show source, which is basically the content of the file, which show source, what it's going to do is going to print out flag.txt. But we can't just have that, because a lot of things are, if you look at the code right here, a bunch of things get replaced for the most part. A bunch of things get replaced, and there's like filters to it. So how do we bypass this? We simply just turn it to a hex value. So by converting it to hex and then adding the extra slashes to every part of the variable, we're gonna see that we send the exploit right here. We got index.php, and then we send it with a payload. That payload is gonna be our initial payload right here, our hex payload. Then our hex payload gets sent with that submit feature, and then after that, what we're gonna do is try and find a way to query that file out. And then right here we have the temp file, the temp path, and then the path is gonna be whatever we set it to. So we check get flag, which is gonna be request get, and then get flag, and then the path is basically whatever the exploited hex payload, whatever that returns, which is just the result at the end. So if we check our payload python 3, if I just put this python 309.py, we see that initially this is what it turns into, a hex value. But what we do extra is we add --x --x, and the reason why is because it's gonna strip the extra backspace, or whatever this is. I think not backspace, but like let me look up what this is, because I don't even know what the name of that thing is called. So what is this? Backslash is gonna take off that extra backslash. By taking off extra backslash, we're just gonna have the hex value right here, and then our hex value gets evaluated in the PHP code right here. And then after that, it's basically gonna run our code base that we have is gonna run this code. Because if I just take this and put this on CyberChef, it's gonna return back our code that we ran. CyberChef. And that's like one of the main things with this exploit for the most part, just understanding. And then if we just do hex from hex, is gonna see show source flag.txt, which is gonna run the show source flag.txt. Is gonna evaluate to that, and after that, it's gonna print out the flag, which it does later on right here. And then the whole, I guess we pass in the path. So I guess if you just like do nano 09, and then we just, I guess, print out path so we can see what the path is, So print path is basically just a path and where our file is located. So if you just run this, the path is basically this at the end, and it's basically it's basically this at the end. And then it, for the most part, we check right here our code. Our path is that it gets get flag, and then it goes right here on get flag, passes the path, index.php, cache file. It's gonna get the cache file, which the path is this path right here. And then after that, it's gonna get it, and then it's gonna print out the whole text. And then the first thing that will pop out is strip/ to bypass, which is pretty cool for the most part. And I think it's one of the values that, like, how to bypass strip c/. I think it's one of the things if you just look it up right away. So if you look up bypass PHP, CTF, I think. I guess no one mentions hex, but like that's one way to bypass the strip/c/ function. PHP bypass. I guess no one mentions it. That's pretty weird. But yeah, it's like, I guess that's one way to bypass it for the most part, because it's stripping out the slashes. And by stripping out the slashes, we could just basically just make it to, we could add a hex value and just add an extra slash. So like we could, I guess, solve this challenge for the most part. But yeah, after that, all we simply do is just, I guess, paste the flag. Yeah, it's not gonna work. We go right here and just get our flag value right here, and then just copy it, go back right here and simply paste it. We validate it, then we get good job, good flag for level 0. What about adding a write up to it? But yeah, and then flag are already submitted for solving. But yeah, that's about it for this challenge. Pretty cool challenge for the most part. I guess mostly I guess understanding what the code is doing, and then how, I guess, having eval on every, like having eval is pretty bad for the most part, because like it literally and having eval and having the ability to be able to input what we want for eval is like pretty bad for the most part. But anyway, that's about it for me, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.